America, the global economic chess match just changed forever. President Trump's tariff doctrine has sent shockwaves across the planet, and foreign governments are folding like cheap suits. Mexico's president surrendered. No retaliatory tariffs. Ontario Premier Doug Ford, quote, "We will be willing to take these tariffs off tomorrow." Even Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin O'Leary, demolished Canada's empty threats about cutting ties with the U.S., calling it sheer stupidity, since 75% of their economy depends on us. What we're witnessing isn't just policy, it is the complete reordering of global economic power. Yes, I call it the Trump world order. Meanwhile, private companies added 155,000 jobs in March, blowing past expectations. So much for the fear-mongering about tariff-killing jobs. So, what are we going to do? See, President Trump's tariffs restore the trade balance. But don't forget about restoring your body's balance, too. That's why this multi-collagen formula is changing lives, just like Trump's policies are changing our economy. Recent studies show it dramatically reduces wrinkles and improves skin elasticity, similar to how tariffs improve our trade elasticity. With 5 different collagen types, it addresses multiple needs simultaneously, just like Trump's comprehensive economic approach. It's American-made, with the highest quality standards, no artificial ingredients, and no harmful additives, exactly the accountability we need. So get back your youthful glow while America gets back its economic glow. Visit healthwithgary.com for 51% off today. Okay, so much is happening on the world stage. Of course, I am broadcasting live. The Gulf of America right behind me. You can hear the waves crashing on the beach. It's a beautiful thing to witness. But there were also some crashing going on at the White House today. And Tom McCullough was there, our White House correspondent, on the scene to bring you some behind-the-scenes looks at what was happening. Check this out.
Hey guys, reporting here today with Next News, and it's a madhouse. It's Liberation Day. The briefing room's packed full of people. I'm going to kind of just show you what a little bit behind the scenes stuff is. You see here, normally there's only like a couple cameras here and there, so they set this up in case Trump comes out to do a briefing. This is where they would be doing gaggles. So like if anybody of note comes over, they talk to the Pebble Beach stuff. We got Newsmax over there, CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox. Hey, how you doing, sir? And yeah, so it's going to be a busy day today. It's Liberation Day. Just kind of want to show you most of the day. It's just trying to figure out what's happening, who's coming out here, and then making sure you know the right questions to ask when you need to ask them. Yeah. Little behind the scene tour for you guys.
Yeah, stuff you don't normally see, but Liberation Day is here. Tom McCullough reporting from the White House Madhouse. Check this out.
Fake news guys.
Hey guys, this is Tom McCullough reporting directly from the White House with the Next News Network. And guys, we're bringing you the real story today. It's straight from the source because we're one of the only non-fake news outlets still standing. All these fake news guys. Here in the circus of press chaos in April 2nd, 2025. This place is a madhouse. Reporters are tripping over each other. Cameras are everywhere. Everyone's waiting for their big moment for the day. So we're going to go ahead and get right to it. So today is the day that President Donald J. Trump has been hyping for weeks. It's Liberation Day. And that's right. The tariffs are coming and they hit at midnight. And they're about to kick in fast. So the White House says that the new trade taxes will hit the ground running, effective immediately after Trump lays it out. This isn't some wishy-washy promise. It's a sledgehammer to level the playing field for American workers and business. So for too long, we've let other countries rip us off, shipping their cheap goods here while slapping huge tariffs on ours, and that's just not going to happen anymore. So now here's the kicker. Israel's already jumping ahead. They've dropped all the tariffs on U.S. goods, saying that, hey, we're in, which was a smart move on their part. They see the writing on the wall, and Trump's not messing around. Other nations, they're sweating. Folks like Canada, Mexico, the European Union, they're bracing for impact, and some are even threatening to hit back, and it's good luck with that. They're called reciprocal tariffs. Security here at the White House, it's tighter than a drum. You can feel the tension. There's extra guards, extra metal detectors, the works. With Liberation Day kicking off, they're not taking any chances. This place is buzzing, and it's not just about the press. Everyone knows something huge is dropping and happening today here at the White House. As you can see, everything's crazy. What you guys don't see is a visible security that's more so than normal. In the main event, Trump's hosting a Rose Garden shindig at 4 p.m. called Make America Wealthy Again. It's not just a catchy name, it's the heart of the whole deal. He's rolling out these reciprocal tariffs, matching what other countries are charging us, dollar for dollar. The man's got his whole cabinet out here with him, showing this isn't some side project, it's the real deal. Studies from his first term that his tariffs work, as of 2024 report says they boosted our economy and brought straight manufacturing home. Steel production up, jobs thousands added, inflation barely a blip. Even Janet Yellen, Biden's old Treasury gal, admitted last year that things don't jack up prices like the media whines about. Speaking of the media, they were wrong back then and they're wrong now. PBS, NPR, Politico, they're all screaming in 2018 that Trump's tariff would tank everything. And guess what? Steel imports dropped by a third. Companies like Nucor and U.S. Steel poured billions into new mills, and Minnesota iron ore folks called it a boom. The Economic Policy Institute says steel output, jobs, and investments all soared. No inflation mess in sight in 2024. So also in 2024, another analysis predicted a 10% global tariff could grow our economy by $728 billion and create another 3 million jobs. So here we are. Liberation Day, Trump's betting big, and if his first term's any clue, America's about to win again. Again, this is Thomas McCullough signing off from the White House. Stay tuned. The Rose Garden's about to light up.
Yeah, baby. That is Tom McCullough on the scene. Here we have more. Representative Lisa McClain. We want American jobs. We want to bring manufacturing here. Let's go.
Time Donald Trump is, we want American jobs. We want to bring manufacturing here. Let's not forget about how much investment in the short period of time Donald Trump has been president that he has already got commitment to bringing back to the U.S. of A. And that is almost $5 trillion in investments. Look at Apple coming into my home state of Michigan. That's positive news that needs to be celebrated. We want American.
Oh, yeah, and it's happening. Here's Mark Wayne Mullen talking about American products win every time. Check this out.
Country that wants to do business with us, so if we put American-made products against other countries, we will win every single time. The country that wants to do business with us, so they need us more than we need them because they want access to the world's strongest and greatest economy, and that's the United States. But we can't allow manufacturing to leave the United States, go to that country, build a product, and then bring it back to the United States to sell it. That's where the unfair trade deals have been taking place that we have had put in place since after World War II. We have allowed people to take advantage of us, and President Trump is the first president in our lifetime to actually say, wait, it's time to right the wrong. So will there be some volatility for the first few months? Maybe. But long-term gain, it's going to be great for America. Yeah,
it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a little bit. It's kind of like you got to pull the Band-Aid off, though. You know, it's going to be sharp. It might hurt. But at the end of the day, it's going to be clean. There's going to be no infection. And you're going to get some air into the wound. And it's going to heal. That's what it's all about, friends. America is finally going to heal. Here is the Mexican president just in. Mexican President Sheinbaum concedes to President Trump, says she will not impose tit-for-tat tariffs on the United States. Ha ha. Yeah. Kneel before Zod, woman. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he's willing to drop all of Canada's tariffs. Yeah, see, these guys thought they were going to go ahead and take one. They thought they were going to pull one over on the old United States. Well, guess what? Jack Barton always says, if you paid your dues, check this out.
Products.
Let's sit down and discuss this because it's just going to hurt American jobs. I can't stress it enough. And, you know, again, he believes he's supporting Americans. He said he was going to create jobs, create wealth, reduce inflation. It's worked the total opposite. Inflation.
But do you think it's fair that you have tariffs on a whole number of products?
That's right. And we'd be willing to take those off tomorrow if he took all the tariffs off. We are not the problem. Andrew, do you know the problem is? China's the problem. And he's taking a blind eye to China as they continue to build their critical mineral mass. We have all the critical minerals that our great neighbors need. We have the energy that our great neighbors need.
Really, dude? We're turning a blind eye to China? I don't think so. Okay, if there's anyone that turned a blind eye to China, it was Joe Biden and Hunter when they were cutting their deals. Remember all the Chinese weather balloon? The Chinese spies all over our country? Remember Fang Fang?
I just want to go back for a moment. If, in fact, you're prepared to take your tariffs off, why wouldn't you have that negotiation and that conversation now before any tariffs get put in place?
Well, we've had this conversation for over the last month. We don't want tariffs. We have another $65 billion worth of tariffs to launch today. That's the last thing we want to do because it's just, again, it's going to hurt both countries. It's going to hurt American workers. That's the last thing I want.
Andrew meant take the other ones off, not the ones you're launching today. The ones that you already got.
You're saying you take all your tariffs off. I'm saying
we will take them off. That's right.
Then why is that not? I guess my question is, why has all of that not already happened? And does President Trump know that you'd be prepared to do that?
He knows, and Secretary Lutnick knows that we're willing to take these tariffs off like in the next minute if he said he's taking their tariffs off. So let's look at the auto sector.
Let's just look at you because you know you don't stand a freaking chance against the American economy. Okay? What have you got? Hockey and beer up there? Okay, let's keep going. We have more. Here is Vice President Vance shutting down the globalist narrative on tariffs. Boom.
Passed on to the... You have to qualify the understanding based on what we just saw with those 20 plus...
Oh, man, it still blows my mind every time I see Chris Cuomo. I mean, this is the guy that was holding up a Q-tip during COVID with his brother. Fired in shame from CNN. Every time I see him, it just blows my mind. I mean, this guy's trying so hard to move to the middle. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I'll start over.
You have to qualify the understanding based on what we just saw with those 20-plus Nobel winning economists who said, if you do tariffs the wrong way, you wind up spiking prices here that get passed on to the consumer. Yeah. And that was also additive to inflation. And they criticize the Trump administration and its future plan for being at risk of doing exactly that.
Sure. So I know that's a criticism that's been out there. Here's why I don't buy it. So first of all, these are the same experts that said shipping our entire manufacturing industry to China, to East Asia, to Mexico would lead to greater American prosperity. They were wrong. It was a mistake to do that. We followed their advice. And now, frankly, a lot of Americans can't afford a good life, can't earn a middle class wage because we listened to some of those very same people. But the more immediate reason why I don't buy that argument, Chris, is look, Donald Trump was already president, right? These aren't just plans and proposals. He was already president. And when he was president, you had he did use tariffs, right? And you had the fastest rising take-home pay in 40 years in this country. You had inflation at 1.5%. So, look, you don't have to agree with everything I say or everything that Donald Trump says. But when you actually look at the policy accomplishments, we had low inflation and rising take-home pay. And I think tariffs were a big part of that.
You have to qualify.
And that is a fact, Fredo. Let's keep going. We've got more. DeAngelis, we have been taken advantage of administration after administration. Boom.
We've been taken advantage of administration after administration, and he is finally saying enough is enough. These countries have to be put in their place. So if you're taxing us, we're going to tax you back. It may even be
put them in their place. Kneel before the American power. It's true. Our economy is massive. You guys, the whole world cannot compete against our economy. All right? I mean, how much do we import from all over the world? Yeah, so you guys all better play ball, drop your tariffs, open up your markets, let American companies ship their stuff into your countries, and let's equalize the playing field.
more generous than that from what we're understanding. And so that level playing field comes back to the United States. And one more thing that I think is really, really important about this, for national security, getting our standing back, for people realizing that we are not a doormat anymore as a nation, and that enough is enough.
Enough is enough. We are no longer going to be a doormat for the world. Making America great again. Private companies added 155,000 jobs in March, more than expected. That's CNBC reporting that. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. Mark Carney saying Canada is cutting off all ties with the U.S. is sheer stupidity. 75% of the output of Canadian market is over 100 years have been sold to the U.S. Let's listen to this.
Has been sold to the... Just hours ago, interim Prime Minister Carney said the same thing. We are cutting off all ties to the United States. There's no cooperation anymore. That, of course, is sheer stupidity. 75% of the output of the Canadian market for over 100 years has been sold to the U.S., and 17 states in the U.S. call Canada their #1 trading partner. There is no way that's going to happen. But if you want to be tough and you want to sound important, and you're trying to get elected, and you're the only person that can save every Canadian from the evil Trump, that's exactly what you say. Navarro's saying the same thing. These tariffs are in perpetuity. We will fix this. We will push back the world. All of this rhetoric and noise, it's not the signal. It's all noise. And in the end, I think everybody's better off if we get to reciprocal tariffs of 0. So the countries you care about, that you want to do business with, you end up with 0 tariffs and you support a free trade mandate. It's very hard to see that outcome in the cloud we're in right now and all the rhetoric and jawboning. But if you're an investor like I am, you think long term. And so the concerns that Goldman have about housing prices and inflation on goods and services, it takes a long time for that to happen. Not 2 weeks, not 2 months. So I am in the more of the, let's get calmed down here. Let's let the rhetoric be fired at each other. Every country, Britain's doing the same thing right now. Well, sure. You should hear the rhetoric in London today.
Kevin, but let me ask you this,
because I hear will pass. Just hours ago, interim Prime Minister
Kevin O'Leary getting the record straight right there. Here is more. We have reshaping the world. Why Trump's tariff announcement is veiled in secrecy.
I'd look at that. President Donald Trump could reshape the world economy when he unveils his new tariff plan today. Here's an inside look at that upcoming announcement at the White House. Now, I'm told that the president spent much of Tuesday huddled with his close trade advisors, tariff policy advisors, really up until the 11th hour, finalizing, or as the White House said.
Now, I want to preface what you're seeing here. This is CNN. Okay, so just... you got to understand the language that they're using.
Perfecting this announcement, but so much of the key details are still unclear, in part because there was really these last minute pitches that were coming in, but also because this is by design. They want it to be veiled in secrecy. Now, this announcement is going to be made in the Rose Garden. It's his first event there. With it comes the pomp and circumstance we know the president likes for these types of events. But one of the things that's been very notable about that is it was initially scheduled for 3 p.m. and then was pushed back to 4 p.m. I say it's notable because 4 p.m. is after the markets close. Now, many people are worried about what this could mean for consumers. How will it affect them? Our trading
Look at
partners,
the picture.
Of course.
Look at the picture they chose to use. This, trader, oh, his face, he's in anguish. What's going to happen with this? I mean, you heard Mr. Wonderful in the last clip saying, yeah, it's going to be a little bumpy. The rhetoric's going to be all over the map. They're going to try and discourage you. But as investors, we got to think long term. But CNN's putting out this fake news showing this investor is freaking out. Man, just hold it. Just hold the stock. All right? Just hold it. Just hold it. All right? Come on.
Figuring out what exactly this could mean for them as well. Hopefully we'll have more details after that announcement.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump.
CNN is fake news. Let's just keep going. Here we have more. Stephen Moore talking about the tariffs earlier today on Newsmax. What did he say? Our tariffs, let me just pull up this. Our tariffs are about 3%, 4%, and 5%, and many other countries above 20%. That's something we can't live with. At the end of the day, this could be a liberation from those high tariffs. It simply isn't a fair trading system right now. Representative Riley Moore. Foreign countries have been ripping American manufacturers off for far too long, all while enjoying decades of free access to American markets. Free access. My God.
Their jobs
one way to think about this, and we've heard people say, oh, this is going to spark a trade war. Well, the American workers been living in a trade war for over 40 years, and they've seen their jobs be decimated. Like in my state of West Virginia, where just last year, because the Biden administration would not implement tariffs on tin plate steel that was being dumped into the market by China and Canada and some other countries, we lost 1,000 jobs in my district, gone. And we had to idle that steel plant. That's not putting the American worker first. It's not putting America first. So President Trump is the first person in my lifetime who is really trying to reset this table and put us in a good position to be able to succeed here as a country. We have to do everything we can to grow and expand the middle class and provide that opportunity that had been promised to so many generations before us.
Yeah, finally someone's doing something about it. Here is the Small Business Administration. Kelly Loeffler, an exciting day, she says.
For America. Well, Maria, this is an exciting day, Liberation Day. This is the single greatest salvation for not just small businesses, but for America. This country was traveling down an unsustainable path, and President Trump has been the only president that has had backbone to stand up to our allies and adversaries alike and say, we have to level the playing field. This is unfair. You're no longer going to take advantage of us. And man, I would not bet against America right now, because what's happening is you see investment coming in. You see $4 trillion in investment already in President Trump's first 2 months. You see trading partners coming to the table wanting to renegotiate. This is what it's about. It's about restoring fairness and opportunity to this nation, from small businesses to workers to our investments. And that's what this is about. And President Trump understands that.
Oh, man, it's so cool. It is so freaking cool. I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, I'm getting excited over this. I really am. I don't know if the rest of the world, or even, the rest of America, actually truly can grasp just how important today really is. Okay? I mean, he's leveling the playing field. He's opening up global markets to American manufacturing. This means more jobs, more money, more employment. I mean, it's going to change the game. Winning on a scale we've never seen before. Do you understand this? Do you understand this?
Imported goods. A new CBS News poll shows a majority of Americans support imposing tariffs on imported goods, and more have an optimistic view of the economy since the election.
Oh man, here's more. Here is Representative Byron Donalds.
Let's be very clear.
And
an assumption.
I want to make it clear he's on CNN. All right.
You're making an assumption. You are making an assumption, an economic assumption right now. Let's be very clear. The real pain economically has been the massive inflation coming from bloated overspending here in Washington, D.C. That is the real pain that the American people have felt the last 4 years. What President Trump is trying to do now is bring industries back to the United States. So it's not so much pain. You might have some temporary adjustments in our economy, but that is for the growth of the American economy long term, stability in jobs over the long term for the American people and American workers. And that is actually a good way to take our economy, as opposed to following the same terrible policies of the previous administration and the Democrats writ large of just subsidizing industries and raising the debt of the United States. That is not the way that you actually build an economy. There's an old saying in finance: you can make markets jump, but you can't make them fly. And when you follow the old way, the Biden-Obama way of just subsidizing industries, yeah, you make them jump. You can make people feel good in the interim, but it's not sustainable over the long term. Donald Trump is looking at the long-term financial outlook for every American, and that's why we're starting today with Liberation Day.
Yeah, baby, let's freaking go. Let's go, man. It's like, tariffs aren't like exciting news. Oh, tariffs. But when you have tariffs on a scale like this, that have the ability to completely change the global economy, that's when it becomes super exciting. Okay, so That's just a taste. Now, the media elite, they told us tariffs would cripple our economy. Remember that? The same experts who shipped our manufacturing to China and Mexico, they promised economic apocalypse if we dared to fight back. Well, the numbers don't lie. 155,000 new jobs in March tell the real story. And as Representative Byron Donalds pointed out, the real economic pain has been the massive inflation from bloated overspending in Washington. Trump is fixing that by bringing industries back home. Even the polls show Americans get it. CBS News survey confirmed a majority now support tariffs. The globalist fantasy is collapsing, and America's economic sovereignty is rising from the ashes. So here's the question that has the elites trembling. If Trump's tariff strategy is already forcing global powers to surrender, what happens when it's fully implemented? Tell us what you think in the comments below. And don't miss our MAGA Avengers collection in the Next News merch shop. It is linked in the description.